There we go.
Yes, we're recording. There we go.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. We're going to do an info session about our Multi-Masters program. We're joined today by Danielle Florentin and Cathy Descamps-Large from Mines ParisTech, who are going to talk us through the Multi-Masters, give us all the information that we need and talk some about the application. Hi, Cathy. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you. Thank you for organizing this session today.
We're happy to have you.
So if John, you will begin for the quick introduction, or do we begin right now?
I think we should just go straight on into it. Pop your presentation up on the screen.
Okay, I share my screen.
While it's going up, I should say I have a class at 2, so I don't think it'll go that long, but I may have to leave a little early.
Great. Okay.
Cathy, do you want me to start, or do you want to start?
Yeah, I think. Yeah. Do you see my screen? It's okay.
I do see it. Yep.
Okay. Yes, you can begin, Danielle. Yeah.
Okay. So, good afternoon, evening. I don't know exactly what time it is in Philadelphia, but good evening, everyone. So my name is Danielle Florentin. I'm with Cathy in charge of the organization of this Multi-Masters program. We call NVIM because it stands for International Environmental Management. And the idea is to show you a bit the elements that are constitutive of this program and the type of things that are also necessary if you want to apply for it. And we are happy to answer your questions once this presentation is over. You can go on, Cathy.
So a quick overview of the content of this presentation. We will have a short presentation of Mines ParisTech on what is a PostMaster program. So then a presentation more precisely of this NVIM PostMaster. We'll have, of course, a question about the tuition and fees and how to apply and eligibility. We will speak about our network and position after graduation.
All right. So I don't know how much you know about Mines ParisTech, but it's an engineering school which is also part of the classic system, so the elite system in France, and it's one of the top universities in France. It belongs to a larger group which is called PSL. And so the idea that is important for us is that it's a school which has at its core, and it's the motto of the school, to link and interconnect theory and practice. So we really much into this type of relationship between the theoretical and practical elements. And we try to also have a lot of international agreements, and it's important for the school to have this international dimension. We have a long list of established partnerships with some of the best institutions worldwide, UPenn being one of them, of course. And so we try to collaborate with different countries in different continents. And this program is just the illustration of it with the University of Tsinghua in China, the UPenn University, and also another institution in France, which is the INSA Lyon. Yeah. What we're trying to do also for the way we teach is to have an individualized way to teach and also an individualized supervision of the work. So this is why we have a limited number of students, and we try really to with that to have a form of care for the students and knowing exactly how we can help you for the achievement of your professional career and your professional project. What we try to rest on is also a form of innovative teaching, really linked with the idea that what we want to do with you is to make sure you can also learn from the different classes, and that we also can learn from the classes when we give them and when the other lecturers are giving them. And we try to have really project-based learning as a method, so with real cases or almost real cases to work on. And this is something really important at the core of the spirit of not only the Mines, but specifically also the NVIM Master's program.
Yes, maybe a few words about Mines ParisTech Graduate School. We have a lot of research centers working in various areas, and we have 5 locations in France. Paris and Fontainebleau, where the Earth and Environment Department is historically based. and Evry for materials, and Sophia Antipolis also for, and Palaiso for topics about energy, for instance. But some of, well, in Paris, we have also some research center about economics and management and so, innovation and society. So what is a postmaster? Postmaster, we have 18 postmaster program by Mines ParisTech. These are specific pre-training program designed for graduate students to get some specialization in some given topics. So this particular Mines postmaster, it's based mostly in Paris right now, and part of the classes are organized in Fontainebleau, as we have a large campus there. And most of the class today are organized by a kind of hybrid. Well, we did a lot this summer, and now we have each classroom are equipped with everything to be used remotely if needed, as today, for example. So Mines postmaster most focus on the program. Mines is now 14 years old. It's based on a partnership with Tsinghua University and Penn University and INSA Lyon. Mines is an international postmaster program. We, as Daniel said, this program is based on a lot of case studies organized in partnership with experts and professionals. And today we offer two options. Option Asia, which is a 14-month program with Tsinghua University, with a semester in China and a semester in France. And Option Europe, which is a 12-month program. It's shorter program, mostly in France, based in Paris. That means that we have a core program, a long core, a common core program of 4 months, managed by Mines ParisTech and a few weeks in INSA Lyon, with many case studies and based on international topics, but international as we go everywhere in Europe, but also outside Europe. Some cases are situated in Africa or South Asia, for example, or even in US this year, for example. Daniel, don't hesitate if you want to add something.
I can just maybe add one thing. So the way we've organized usually the study is to have, so these 4 months in Paris, we organize modules which are lasting like 2 to 3 weeks, a module on biodiversity, a module on urban planning, a module on energy issue. And so you usually have 1 week of lectures and 1 week of project or something around. And so the idea is really to deep dive into a topic during a certain amount of time, and to have also the possibility to explore some tools and also to put them into practice through a project. So this is really what we call the project-based pedagogy we want to implement we try to implement every year.
Just an overview of the organization of the two options. The Mines Asia option begins in September with the orientation week in Paris, and then the departure to China for 4 months, or 3 months and a half. In December, we have 2 to 3 weeks of vacation. Everybody come back home, and then in January, we gather everybody in Paris for another semester. Then in April, it's a time for internship. A 6 months period as an opportunity to apply what has been acquired during the academic period on a real cases in professional world, and to write a professional thesis. Each student has to defend his thesis in front of a jury to get his master degree. So the Common Core program is also the two options meet together. But Option Europe students have a month more to work on a given subject before going in internship as the other students. So this is the academic contents. The main fundamentals and main topics that are developed in this Envim program for the core program.
And just one word on that. So we try to have, so some lecturers are coming year after year, but we try also to have to identify the emerging or hot topics in the different domains we want to cover. And so the projects we do are changing every year, or almost every year. And also sometimes some lecturers are new in the program, just to make sure we are just state of the art for the different elements and topics we try to touch on.
Do you want to share a word about the long program you are conducted with the Envim students this year?
Yeah, so and every year we have a form of long project which is lasting the whole semester long, and so this is something where the students have to at the end of it organize an event around one topic and to write a report on the research project. And so this year we are working with the City Council of Paris, because they try to transform the use of hydrogen in their strategy and in their practices of urban cleanliness. So basically we're working with one department, so the Department of Urban Cleanliness Management within the City of Paris. We have like 4,000 people working there, so it's a lot. And they have decided to change the supply of their fleet to get rid of fossil fuels, and they are looking at the different opportunities, and so electric or hydrogen. And so the purpose of the students is to nourish their thoughts and to give them a form of environmental assessment and economic assessment of the different solutions that are at their disposal. And basically the purpose is really to make sure that the city is reaching a sound decision environmental wise, and also in terms of labor and in terms of economic activities as well.
Yeah. So we have also shorter projects, mostly 1 to 2 weeks of project. This is a short list of some of them. Now today, students this week, today they are working on in a urban workshop together with Daniel. So, and we have the chance to have the student with Daniel in presence in Paris for a while, which is not allowed every day, but we have an exemption, which they are all very happy. Then after that, they will have some other projects such as environmentalist and social studies for a dam in Laos, and impacts of dams construction all along the Mekong River as a role play, discussing the water sharing of water in the various countries and stakeholders. We will have a project about solar energy in South Asia with a group, with Green Yellow Group, and some of the project around agroecology and supply chain for 5 commodities to feed the future. And maybe also we will have a case on water, management and green infrastructure in Philadelphia, which is a new project conducted with Daniel.
Conducted with the Philadelphia Water Department, thanks to a contact of John Stephanie Sheeran, with whom we are in close contact to develop this project, and to have also this project this year on green infrastructure and the development of stormwater management in this case.
Yeah. So concerning the long project, it's kind of a classical way of working together to organize this long project for students to work together and to learn on the field. So this is a list of past projects we had. This year it's hydrogen transition for mobility in Paris. Last year the project was about cleanliness in the city and a focus on open city markets. Also we had by the last few years some project in China, conducted in China, and an event organized as a workshop in debates in Beijing. So today, every student in Anvim is studying at home, but not all the days. We have some exemptions, sometimes 2 times for projects, so that they are happy to get to work together and to meet themselves in person. This is really great because it's not so. We are facing, as everybody kind of new challenges with remote learning program. So we try to improve ourselves with this innovative way to work together. So we have anyway some face-to-face session in Paris. This is the class today. So we have 22 students today. For Anvim Europe, as Anvim Asia has not been able to open in safe conditions this year, but we hope it will be open next year. We will see that. This slide is about the content of the program in China. In China, we have a kind of a general training program, not really specified on one topics, but this program is offering a wide range of themes that are shared with students in order to stay open to the whole picture of what are the various environmental challenges that we are facing. But mostly in China, students learn a lot about water management and wastewater issues and air control in these big cities, and also low carbon development. So it's an opportunity to see a large country making its transition step by step. So,
and also, if I may just add one more thing on that, there is also a tradition in the so in this Chinese part of the program, which is more anchored in the engineering processes, whereas the French part, or the part in Europe, is something where we try to really connect the management issues and the engineering issues in a more comprehensive way. So it's also interesting in terms of cultural differences to see that, and to see the type of approach we can have about the environmental issues, which is more in the Chinese context.
Yeah, the content in China, it's a little bit more about environmental engineering, but it's stay open for students having very various backgrounds. And we have engineers, master of science students, but also political science and business school students, and everything is okay for them. It's okay for them to follow the classes, and today we are used to do that, and it's a richness to have various background in this program and various culture working together. Students are very great opportunity to learn from each other. Now the cost of the studies are 14,000 euro for option Asia and 10,000 for Anvim Europe, plus the registration fees. We have special price for companies for students who find a sponsor. But we are asked if we have some scholarship, but we don't. So but Campus France offers some scholarship, and students are welcome to check with the Campus France of their country.
I don't know exactly the exact rate, the currency rate now, but just to give so if you can just come back, Cathy, to the amount for the fees and tuitions. So 14,000 euros, it should be something like $17,000 or $18,000, if I'm not wrong. If you can confirm that or something like that. So it's around that amount of money, depending on the currency, of course.
Yeah, sorry for the euro. Okay. So eligibility. So as I said, various backgrounds are accepted. Today we have also like two architects in the class, urban planners. We have also a veterinary doctor who would like to work in biodiversity field in his future career. So it's really open to various backgrounds. Motivation is it's at stake for an appropriate professional project in relation with the program are required for the eligibility of applicants. For Chinese students who are not Tsinghua University students, it's possible to apply for the to the option Asia and to go in Tsinghua as an auditor and to follow all the classes, and they will have evaluation as the other students and even their transcripts, but they won't be allowed to have the Tsinghua degree at the end of the year only. But yeah, of course they will be allowed to apply to the PostMaster engine, of course, but not to this Chinese student. There is some criteria for Penn students to apply to this PostMaster program, but maybe we will have some question about that later in the question association. And of course, high English level proficiency is required because of all the classes, lecture, projects, everything is in English. Of course, in China, some lecturer will have a kind of a very good, sometimes very good English level, and sometimes international English level. That is will be fine. So what is the process to apply? Just download the application files from this the pages indicated in this slide. We have two options, option Asia and Asia, and the form is the same for two options. Upon session. The next session will be February 28th, but we will also have a session mid-March, 21st of March, also for Envim Asia. It's a little bit shorter for Envim Asia because the list of admitted students have to be sent to China for approval this year. But so we will have, well, short period of time to accept applications. And for Envim Europe, we will have session in April and until October, as the first day of the period for Envim Europe is in January. So a word about our network. We are in this slide, we gathered the logos from our main network, not only concerning the design of projects and participation of companies and consultancy firm for the design of the program, but also where our alumni work today. In order to give an overview. But these are where, well, mostly French students work. I don't mention the places where are working today, students working abroad in US or in China. I will have had to add some others, of course. But
so just one word on that is that we have a mix of small and big companies, often multinational companies or companies so that are also active not only in Europe but also worldwide, and so it's So companies which are specialized either in energy or in in water, in some other elements linked with the environment conservation, and also some specialized in specific competencies, like quantities specialized in LCA and things of that nature.
And
So it's
in biodiversity offsets and compensation for biodiversity, for example. And we have a new partner, Descamps-Large, who is designing furniture, for example. So it's very various kind of companies. Yeah. The Shift project also, for example, is a kind of a think tank working in France to initiate some project on transition as well. So, and the position of students after graduation, very diverse position, like in circular economy or low carbon development. Some students want to work in green project management, in solar, wind, or hydrogen development. In Europe, we have also some students specialized in smart grid for energy transition, of course. Now today we have some of the students working in impact assessment for large project at the international. Some other worked in corporate social responsibility and ethics for companies. Strategy in big companies, of course. Some other work, like in counties, and specifically on eco-design, eco-conception. We have some experts in biodiversity, not only on the engineering side, but also in the governance side. For example, in some institution in France. Some of them works in the building sector and in urbanism. Daniel, do you want to add something? It will be my last slide, in fact.
Yeah. So just to complement that, so something which is important is that the possibility after you are finished with the masters are quite extensive, quite wide. So you have a very wide range of possibilities, which are also depending upon your former background, usually also because it plays a role, of course, in your development, what you've done before that. And one thing which is really important is to imagine that we are providing you also some form of competencies which helps you have some positions where you have strategic issues. Usually the students, when they are finished with the master, they have a position where you have a mix of strategic and operational aspects. So basically, our goal is really to train people to have experts and form of expertise in the environmental domains. And this is reflected in the type of position they can have where they have the possibility to really express these strategic issues and not only having something only operational.
Yeah, not only, but also a kind of a large overview of not only all the specialization, but overview of all the environmental issues, because everything is connected. It's a kind of a training to think this complexity. We try to build in this program with them.
And I think
so,
it's maybe time for
the graduation. Well, the diploma ceremony picture, and the green students are environmental master students. So if you have any questions, we'll be happy to answer. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was great. And would you please send us that PowerPoint and we can post that as well. And I'm going to open it up for any questions that anybody may have.
Sure. Yeah. Can I ask a question?
Please do.
Please.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, just for the degree. So is that offered by PSL or Mines ParisTech?
It's the degree. It's by Mines ParisTech.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
I have a question on the tuition and fees part on the company. When you get an internship or you do the thesis with the company, can it be anywhere in the world? And is the company sponsoring the thesis, or does the program sponsor the company to do the thesis? I didn't understand that part.
Yeah, okay. It's a good question. Thanks for asking. So you can do your internship wherever you want. It can be in the US, in Europe, or in Africa, or in Asia, or so in a place where you find an interesting position. And usually what we do is when you find something interesting, you come to Cathy and myself, and we will discuss the content of the internship and to see how adequate is it, how in line it is with the requirements of the program. Then regarding the possibilities of financing, some companies will be inclined or will accept to sponsor you and to pay your fees in a way. And so this is what was mentioned with the sponsorship. So basically, the company will cover the cost of your training program if you manage to find a company which wants to sponsor you.
Perfect. Thank you.
Hi, I had a quick question. I was curious. I currently am a remote employee working full time and going to school full time. I was curious if there's a way to pursue the program with that in mind.
So as we told you, we are trying to have, we are now equipped to have hybrid sessions, even if we consider that it's better to have face-to-face classes whenever it's possible. So if there is no other possibility, of course, we can accept having some people being remotely, wherever they are. The only thing we have to think of is also time difference. If you are not in a European time difference or a Chinese time difference, it might be an issue at some point.
Thank you. But as far as the visa goes and things of that nature, would not be a problem to be a full-time worker and going to school full-time, right?
Shouldn't be.
Thank you.
There may be an issue with you having time to sleep.
That's pretty much what I had in mind with the time difference. Thanks, Yvette, for just emphasizing it.
Yeah, sorry. Another question is for international students, is that easier to find an internship in France? I mean, just based on your experience.
Is it that easy, or is it, so it depends how good your French is and what type of companies you're targeting, because if you're targeting like small companies, it might be sometimes difficult to find places where French will not be important. In big companies, they are quite used to working in English. And so basically it's not an issue at all. And so most of the companies that Cathy showed also on the screen were also having quite a good habit of working in English with the people working in the company. So I won't have any definitive answer on that, but yeah, go ahead, Cathy.
Yeah, some students find also an internship in Europe somewhere, like in Brussels or in Berlin, for example. Because in France, as Daniel said, only big company will be at ease with English-speaking person because in order to better socialize with the other member of the company. Otherwise, it's possible to find an internship in Belgium, but in France, internships are paid. There is indemnities. I don't know if the word is correct. I'm sorry for that. But
you have a small compensation.
Small compensation for each month, but in Brussels, it's not in Belgium, it's not the same. And in Germany, it will be okay. I think it's a good place to try also to have an internship. Otherwise, it will be sometimes we have students who are having an internship in France. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Yeah.
Regarding the timeline between January and May, is it both, will it be in Lyon and Paris, or just Paris? And living situation, is there like student households, or does each one usually get their apartment, or how is that divided timeline-wise?
Yeah, so thanks for asking. Basically, you're going to have 2 weeks in Lyon, and the 2 weeks in Lyon, everything is taken care of regarding the housing and so on. So you have 5 months in Paris, all in all, so including the 2 weeks in Lyon. And so basically, each and everyone does as he pleases or as she pleases. It's basically either you try to find a shared flat, or so we do not have that many places for a camp. So there is no like big campus like in an American university. We are just in the middle of the city, so we don't have that much room in a European city. So you will find like private flats or something like that quite easily. And so we have every year big shared flats with NVM students coming from different parts of Europe, France, and the world.
Yeah, and basically next year, January will begin with in France. Will begin with 3 weeks in Lyon. And so students don't have to pay for a small apartment in Paris at the same time. They will stay in Lyon first and then go to Paris right after. Campus Ladoua offers some possibility to have some residence for students there, or there is some small hotel in this area for students who want to share a room, for example, or maybe a studio or something like that. But the university will offer some help with some about possibility for accommodation.
We do have some contacts with housing companies. Yeah.
In Lyon, at least. In Paris, we have also some residents and some to help, but usually students find their places rather quickly by themselves, because they prefer being in downtown Paris, for example, than in other places, maybe university residence for students.
We have a question in the chat. I'm seeing it. So regarding the report requirements to graduate after completing the internship. So it's a thesis. We call it a professional thesis, which is a document which will be elaborated, or at least which topic will be elaborated in co-construction between your supervisor from Mines ParisTech and your supervisor from your company or from the institution you're doing your internship in. And the idea is that this this thesis is tackling an issue, an environmental issue, trying to answer a specific question, which is both interesting the company for its development, and also having a robust academic content. So basically, there is some elements where the supervision from the academic side is helping you also to make sure this is academically sound, and we're trying to make it also useful for the institution which is hosting you. Does it answer your question, Asha?
And I would just add in there, and for Penn, you would basically, your capstone is the same project. So typically the same report is submitted to both schools, but it's slightly different formatting and occasionally a little bit of a different focus. And you would have one of your advisors for that would be from Penn. So
Yeah.
slightly different, but you're not doing a completely different project. You're still focusing on what you did for your internship.
Yeah. The structure will be the same, and yeah. And we like having some case studies in ParisTech professional thesis, for example. And the structure of the thesis is rather the same. But we also, if for Envim Asia, the requirements are a little bit more to be more scientific in a way. But we're used to that now, and we offer help for these requirements.
Basically, we start with the same basis for the 3 elements, so for Penn, for Mines and Tsinghua, and so there are some subtle differences to make a difference between the different reports. At the end, they are not exactly the same, but still the basis is similar and common.
And there's a defense for Tsinghua, right?
Yeah.
The students must defend it. So,
Yes.
and you do not have to defend it at Penn
Yeah.
or at Mines ParisTech. So,
for me,
yeah, you have to defend it in front of a jury.
okay.
Yeah, we have this also. And we used to have this defense for Mines ParisTech first, and then at Tsinghua. This is very helpful to help the students to achieve the requirement for China. We are close to our students to help them as much as possible.
So you have 2 defenses, but you have also 2 or 3 diplomas according to what you want.
Yeah, just a quick question for that. Yeah, I mean, so for Chinese students, if we can get a degree from Tsinghua, so do we still need to do a defense for that?
No. You have just one defense for Mines ParisTech, and your thesis will be okay for Penn as well. But you don't have you will have only one defense for Mines ParisTech.
But then you won't get the diploma from Tsinghua University, just because Tsinghua University is really strict regarding the nationality of the people having the diploma from Tsinghua University. So they don't want to have Chinese from abroad that are
only 2 degrees for you.
Oh yes, sadly, yeah, but yeah. Yeah, also, yeah, just for the option Asia, so there's language and cultural module. Should I participate on that, like learning Chinese?
Well, yeah, I think so. Well, I don't think so, because you don't mind having the degree of Master of Engineering of Tsinghua, but so you won't have evaluation for this particular classes for this lecture, because they have an evaluation for culture, but it won't be a problem as you don't apply for the degree, because it's something which is required for the Master of Tsinghua.
And just one small thing regarding this. In Tsinghua, as in Paris, all the classes are in English. Plus, we have one class for the non-native speaker of the country to have one class about Chinese culture and language. And in France, one class about French classes. It's also helpful just to make sure that when you are doing your shopping is to be able not to starve. It's important to speak the basics of French and Chinese.
So, I mean, is there any language class at Mines ParisTech? So, like French classes?
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I was saying. So you have one French class for the non-French speakers.
Okay, it's just like like language class, right?
Yeah, it's just language class. Yeah.
Okay, nice. Because my dad said, okay, you need to learn some French at least. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, just to survive, not necessarily to work, but.
Yeah, I know it's hard. Yeah.
And at the end of the internship, when we're ready to defend our thesis, do we have to do it virtually if we're on a different part of the world?
We are okay with having, you can do it wherever you are. We try to adjust. So what we try to do is working on environmental issues. We try to limit as much as possible the footprint of the masters. And under these circumstances, we try not to force you to come to France if you are just like in South America or in Southeast Asia or whatsoever. So basically, if you are elsewhere, we just have to find a good timing to make sure you're not sleeping and we are not at the time of your defense.
Perfect, thank you.
All right, well, those were a lot of questions. Does anybody have anything to add? Well, I want to thank you
I'm
so
going
much.
to throw
Okay.
in one more thing. So the other thing, just for, you know, since you guys are all the Penn students here, you take 8 courses here at Penn, and then you go and do these projects. If you do just the Europe version, you would take 10 courses before you go. And if you do the Asia option, you do 8 before you go. And then we transfer 2 courses from each school back to Penn. So in other words, if you do just the Europe option, you would transfer 2 back to complete your 12 courses. If you do the Asia option, we do 2 from Mines Paris and 2 from Tsinghua. So you have your full 12 courses to graduate. Then the capstone is based on your, as we've discussed, on your internship. While you are away from Penn, we keep you active in the system so that you have full access to the library and all of the resources here. Also, if you have any loans or anything like that that you need to get or whatever, you're fully registered at Penn while you are at the other schools, which can be very handy. I think that's about it. I just wanted to let you know of those items as well. Many times students do come back to Penn after they complete their internship to finish up their capstone. It's not required, but it's absolutely an option. Oh, and the other thing is, while you're enrolled in the other schools, while you're at the other schools, you're enrolled here still, but you pay no tuition to Penn, only to Mines ParisTech. So it's actually cheaper to do this program than to do fully Penn. So.
Oh, and sorry, I don't know if I missed this, but the deadline to apply for the program?
So the first session ends up at the end of February, so 28th of February. And if we have some additional space, we will open also a second session by the 21st of March, the second deadline.
Thank you.
This is for option Asia. Otherwise, you will have several other sessions until October.
Oh, so for only Europe, it would be October.
Yeah, because we need to send the list of admitted students to Tsinghua by April and to be validated. So it will be over after this date. Anyway, the visa process is long, so we need more time. So yeah, we will only have session until, well, as Daniel said, 21st of March for Envimasia.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
And in Europe, the first session is also on the 28th, but we're going to have sessions up to October.
Gotcha.
We open the application for Envimasia very early, so because it's easier for some of you to organize yourself, and it's okay for us to receive application for both options right now. It's okay.
Cathy and Danielle, I have to say goodbye to get ready for my class. Thank you for a very productive meeting, and I look forward to seeing you again soon on Zoom.
Yeah, looking
Thank
forward
you,
to
John.
it. Thanks, John. Well, it's good to see
John.
you.
Bye.
Okay, I think that just about wraps everything up. I want to thank you again, both Danielle and Cathy, for joining us today. You're always incredibly helpful. We will post this on our Penn box, and we will also put in the PowerPoint, and we have some FAQs, I think, so we will plop them in so that everybody has all the information that they need, but they can contact us if they need any follow-up information.